Hi, everyone. Welcome to orientation. My name is Chris Barrage. I'm a surgical registrar working at Wagga Wagga Base Hospital in New South Wales. I'd like to congratulate you on making this far, and I'm very excited for all of you as you undertake what is undoubtedly a very big step in your career. Now, working in the hospital is exciting, it's fun, and certainly faced with a lot of challenges. Now, I started my career back at Liverpool Hospital in, I think, 2014. Now, you can tell that I've been on call last night, but we'll make it through this presentation just great. And I started in 2014, and certainly the first 2 years of my career were very difficult. I don't remember a lot of it, but I can tell you that there were a lot of challenges involved, and certainly at times, being an intern in a brand new system in a big hospital, you can feel like you're a very small piece of a large puzzle. If depending on where you're working, sometimes you can feel a little bit more isolated than other doctors. Now, one thing you should know is that thankfully we do have a union, and it is ASMOF, and ASMOF is what binds us together. By having a union, we can band together and have a shared vision and a shared entity by which we can act together in our best interest. Now, without any further delay, let's start talking about what a union is, first of all. Now, what I didn't realize for some time was that ASMOF specifically represents salaried medical officers. Now, those are the doctors that are paid a salary or a wage by a hospital, okay, or other practice. Now, ASMOF is a union that's run by doctors and for doctors. So we know what we're talking about. We've been in a lot of us have been in the field, and a lot of the doctors in training, particularly the other doctors in training, counselors, and myself, are actively involved in the day-to-day sort of challenges that are found in the hospital environment. Now, ASMOF employs specialized staff who assist and support and represent junior doctors. So our working conditions are written in the legislation, the Public Hospital Medical Officer State Award of 2021. Now, ASMOF are experts in the award and our rights, so that we don't have to be. You'd find that there are a lot of challenges that are involved in being a good doctor and learning how to take your place in the profession. Now, ASMOF is there so that we don't have to spend time looking at all the gray areas in the award and looking at how we can maintain our own safety, take care of ourselves within this system. So they're there to do that for us. Now, when you join, one of the first things ASMOF will do is give you access to a guide to the award so that you can interpret it well. And ASMOF is always on hand to assist with questions about our entitlements. So as a registered union, ASMOF has the legal right to enforce the award and to improve employment conditions. ASMOF also has specific rights to be able to enter our workplace and represent us in the workplace when we might be having issues. Underpayment is one of the more common issues faced by members, and it can sometimes be a little tricky. Now, medical administration don't often put a foot wrong, but there are areas in the award where we may be inadvertently not paid for work that we should be doing, or are not paid for time that we spend at the hospital. Now, I remember in particular, a lot of colleagues over the years may have found that they were spending time at work and they were uncertain whether or not time that they were spending in overtime was due to them being inefficient or them not being very good with their time. I've realized is that that when we're at work, we are working, and whether or not you've got your own internal reflection as to how efficient you are, you should be paid for your time. And it's a bit of a tricky concept to sort of get your head around. ASMOF works alongside members to review and resolve issues with pay and contracts. Now, a good example of this was last October, where we had a group of members at RPA come to us because there were significant delays in getting their overtime and callback payments. ASMOF wrote to the management and highlighted their obligations under the award to pay doctors on time. And as a result of the intervention, RPA employed a full-time officer to work on processing over 500 outstanding claims. ASMOF also works with individual members to review their pay. In 2021, ASMOF recovered about $500,000 in underpayments and lost wages for individual members. Safety is a priority for the union, and ASMOF tries to ensure that your hours and rosters are safe and reasonable. If you or your colleagues are struggling with an unreasonable roster, we'd urge you to get in touch. A good example of this was recently in Blacktown Hospital, where ASMOF intervened to address a short staffing issue. That was impacting doctors significantly, particularly doctors in training. And now vacancies in ED and ICU are being filled to reduce that pressure on the existing doctors. So obviously we're in the midst of a pandemic, and ASMOF has championed safety for doctors during the pandemic, pushing for access to appropriate PPE and for fit testing. ASMOF has assisted doctors in training to access special leave and to be paid appropriately when required to get tested, isolate, and required to get vaccinated. ASMOF does support mandatory vaccinations, and they've got some frequently asked questions up on their site, asmofcovid19.org.au. So the time's up for the state government, given the ongoing issues with underpayments, safety, working conditions for doctors in training. You may have seen some stuff in the media. ASMOF has decided to take legal action. And this has been required because essentially the New South Wales state government has refused to negotiate improvements to our award. So ASMOF has launched a campaign called Time's Up, and as part of their strategy, they're suing the New South Wales government for essentially wage theft. So what else does ASMOF do? In 2021, they dealt with over 900 matters from doctors in training, covering a wide range of issues. They have regular meetings with the Ministry of Health and are legally required to consult us on a range of workplace issues. ASMOF advocates on behalf of their members, and they help shape New South Wales policies and procedures. Now, bullying and harassment is unfortunately experienced by quite a few people within the medical workplace, and we deserve to be treated with dignity and respect in a safe working environment. We provide, ASMOF provides advice and represents members in the complaints process, and they act to mitigate the impact of those complaints on our career progression. ASMOF also aims to improve gender equity in medicine, and we can assist you to access maternity and parental leave or to fight discrimination in pregnancy. ASMOF has assisted many members in accessing maternity leave, extending their contracts to cover the period of maternity leave, or to be rotated to a safer, closer location of work. ASMOF is an active member of the New South Wales Health Parental Leave Working Party, where they advocate for changes, including increasing the length of paid parental leave, automatic contract renewal. Their fees are very competitive at $27.35 a month for interns, which is fully tax deductible. You won't get charged until a certain date. And if you've already joined as an AIM, your fees will roll over. Now, I definitely encourage you all to look at what ASMOF does and what ASMOF is doing for us. And certainly I wish that as an intern, I'd been able to join in the same way.